Welcome back to Horror History, the podcast where we journey through the most haunting tales and unsolved mysteries in human history. I'm your host, Vigilante, and today we're diving into a case that combines small-town secrets, fear, and a seemingly omnipotent, anonymous menace. Our story today begins in Circleville, Ohio, a quaint town with a population of less than 15,000. It was the kind of place where everybody knew everybody, or at least they thought they did. But in 1976, an anonymous letter writer emerged, targeting locals with deeply personal and threatening messages. Over the last 2 decades, these letters revealed secrets, spread fear, and even contributed to a death that left the town and the nation wondering who was behind them. Dim the lights, settle in, and imagine the unease of seeing your deepest secrets laid bare in an unsigned letter. This is Horror History, Season 1, Episode 18, The Circleville Letters. To understand the impact of the Circleville Letters, we need to start with the first recipient, Mary Gillespie. In 1976, Mary, a local school bus driver, received a letter accusing her of having an affair with the school superintendent. The writer demanded that she end the relationship or face exposure. What made this letter unnerving was how specific it was. The writer knew details about Mary's life that only someone close to her could know. At first, Mary dismissed the letter as a prank, but then her husband, Ron Gillespie, began receiving similar letters accusing Mary of infidelity and urging Ron to take action. The letters escalated in both volume and threat level, targeting not just the Gillespies, but other members of the Circleville community. The letters weren't just threatening, they were deeply personal, calling out affairs, criminal behaviors, and hiding scandals. The writer seemed omniscient, as if they were always watching. The townspeople were terrified. Mary and Ron initially kept the letters a secret, hoping the situation would resolve itself. But the writer didn't stop. In fact, the letters escalated, with signs posted along Mary's bus route. The family even tried to catch the perpetrator in the act by stalking out the signs, but they were unsuccessful. In August 1977, the situation took a tragic turn. Ron received a phone call that seemed to confirm the writer's identity. Enraged, he grabbed his gun and left the house, telling his children he was going to confront the letter writer. Ron never returned. Hours later, his truck was found crashed into a tree, and Ron was dead. The official ruling was an accident. He had been drinking, and his blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit. But something didn't add up. Ron's gun had been fired once, though there was no evidence of a struggle or a second person at the scene. Many locals believed Ron's death wasn't an accident. Some suspect the letter writer had orchestrated it, while others thought it was a cover-up. The case only deepened the mystery, adding another layer to the town's growing paranoia. Years passed, and the letters continued to plague the community. Then, in 1983, there was a breakthrough, or so it seemed. Paul Fresher, Ron's brother-in-law, was arrested and charged with attempted murder. Paul's estranged wife, Karen, had implicated him, claiming he was the letter writer. The case against Paul centered on a booby-trapped sign he had allegedly set up to harm Mary Gillespie. A handwriting expert testifies that the writing on the trap matched the Circleville letters. Paul was convicted and sentenced to prison. But here's the twist. Even with Paul behind bars, the letters didn't stop. In fact, they continued at an even greater pace, now targeting Paul himself and insisting he was innocent. The prison system was baffled, as Paul had no access to writing materials or mail. Whoever was writing these letters seemed determined to keep the mystery alive, and to prove that Paul was not the culprit. Even after Paul's release from prison in 1994, the Circleville Letters remained an enigma. Theories about the writer's identity abound, but none have been definitively proven. Some people believe the writer was someone close to Mary Gillespie, possibly a family member or coworker. Others think multiple people were involved, using the letters to settle personal scores. There's also the theory that Paul Fresher was innocent, framed by someone with a vendetta. His conviction was based on circumstantial evidence, and the fact that the letters continued during his imprisonment casts doubt on his guilt. The letters stopped for good in the late 1990s, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. To this day, the Circleville Letters remain one of America's most bizarre unsolved mysteries. So, what do you think? Was the Circleville writer a lone wolf, or was this a conspiracy involving multiple players? Was Ron Gillespie's death a tragic accident, or something more sinister? This story reminds us that even in the most ordinary places, darkness can lurk just beneath the surface. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and as always, stay safe. Peace.